The current pandemic has forced a lot of gig economy companies to rethink the benefits that are given to employees. At the beginning of this pandemic, we heard a lot of big headlines about companies like DoorDash and Instacart offering paid sick leave for their employees. Fast forward to right now, and we are starting to see a lot of evidence that these so-called benefits are very hard to access. And many shoppers are saying that it's nearly impossible to gain these benefits. We're going to take a look at exactly which benefits Instacart promised to its shoppers at the beginning of the pandemic, how many shoppers have actually gotten those benefits, and what Instacart needs to do to improve in this area. So the main benefit in question here is paid sick leave. And this is something that Instacart said that it would make available to shoppers who became sick with COVID-19. A lot of Instacart shoppers were very concerned with potentially contracting the virus, being that they're frontline workers and that they could easily be exposed in supermarkets and grocery stores. Let's take a look at a recent article from CNET about one Instacart shopper who got sick and was unable to gain coverage. So this shopper, Sarah, who was interviewed by CNET, said that she started to get sick and display the symptoms of COVID-19 early on. She went to her doctor, she got tested, and she even got a sick note from her doctor, which she sent into Instacart. And Instacart's response here sheds a lot of light onto just how difficult it is to file one of these claims and to actually get those paid sick leave benefits that were touted early on in the pandemic. Sarah was told that her sick note was not enough, that she needed an actual positive test result for the COVID-19, and that she literally needed to be quarantined through mandated isolation. And here's the problem with this scenario. At this point in time, it actually took many weeks for a lot of these test results to show. So if an Instacart shopper were to get sick, it would be nearly impossible to become eligible for these sick pay benefits at that time. And Sarah's case was one of just many. According to the group, the Gig Workers Collective, only one of their members in this 17,000 person group actually was able to get these paid sick leave benefits. Now, Instacart as a whole has a lot more than 17,000 workers. They have hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of shoppers in the United States. So we don't really know for sure actually how many shoppers have been granted these paid sick leave benefits. But until Instacart actually releases these numbers, we can only assume that it's a small number based upon the given data set that we have. Now, in this article by CNET, Instacart actually did provide an email response, and they said that they've spent over 20 million in initiatives during this pandemic. But those initiatives not only include this paid sick leave, they also include other promotions for shoppers and other initiatives that they may be spending more money on. What we do know for sure is that more money and more resources need to be dedicated towards these benefits. This may be a very small step in the right direction, but Instacart really has to follow through here. And a lot of gig economy companies are going to come under pressure to provide more of these benefits. But shoppers are currently hoping for a scenario where these benefits actually make sense and work in their favor. Currently, there are other options in the marketplace. If gig economy workers want real solid benefits that they can depend upon, they can go to third-party companies, but they do have to pay for these benefits. One such company is NAA Health. After having personally applied for benefits through NAA Health, here's what I have to say. It would be nice to get these benefits for free. After all, it's always nicer to have things come for free than to have to pay for them. But let's give this a little bit of perspective. If you work in a corporate job and you're working full-time 40 hours a week, generally that comes with some benefits. So your company pays for a large portion of these benefits, and then another small portion of that usually comes out of your paycheck. So while the majority of this coverage is provided, you are still paying for that. And the benefits that come through NAA Health work in a similar fashion. You do still have to pay for these yourself, but they are at a highly subsidized rate. So if I want to get critical insurance through them, or I want accident and injury coverage through them, I pay only $21 a month. And it works quite well. So if I get an illness and I am diagnosed by a doctor, if I end up in the hospital, my medical expenses are covered, and I also get up to $250 a day, 365 days a year. And accident coverage works in a very similar way. If I end up in the hospital, I have expenses covered, and I also get paid sick leave, $250 a day, 365 days a year. At a starting price of only $21 a month, this is a very viable option. It's not a major hit on my bank account, and I give myself that peace of mind that I actually need. They also provide telehealth and telemedicine plans for starting as little as $10 a month. You get access to an online doctor to address a wide number of concerns. Now, I have a video specifically dedicated to this so I'll leave a link to that down below. It's definitely something worth considering. I wouldn't endorse it if I didn't believe it wasn't actually a very viable option. NAA Health also does some cool stuff on YouTube. They're covering a lot of the important issues, so I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all of the latest gig economy news.